Anything you could tell us would be of great help.
I shall read and see what I can find for you. I would not wish to speak without having absolute assurity that what I say is the truth.
Zacharias, that seems to be a good approach, brother, indeed.
Now tell me, how did you acquire the Tears of Aklis? I am interested in hearing of your work. I've heard only the tall tales without many details.
I doubt that any tall tales you have heard could actually measure up to the truth, Brother Thrain. Zacharias smiles to himself. Suffice to say is that we did indeed summon a Daemon Prince from Abaddon, long imprisoned by the victor. It was no easy task, let me assure you. And from its gnarled hands we acquired the tears.
Yes, my good friend the Cardinal has picked right in making you his greatest workers. Or companions, or contractors, or whatever you fashion yourselves.
Cash would like to ask
The
him a
Father is looking at us, my friends. Smiling.
Yes, of course he is. You say the Cardinal is an old friend of yours?
But yes, very much so. Just smiling, looking to Cash. Yes, she seems to wish to ask something.
For how long have you known? Addressed as Thorn.
There's many years. But it is not much for me to speak of our relationship. Whatever he wanted you to know, he must already have told you.
Of course, it's just out of my own curiosity, because, you know, he is a mysterious man.
Yes, he tells not many much. I know his story. That is true. I have known him for his, or almost his entire life.
Is it anything you can share with us, or is it...
If he wished, he would have told you already, would he not?
I guess...
If you know nothing more of him, it must be because he does not want you to know.
I suppose.
Out of character here, we can name drop his name. I don't know if that's wise.
I don't think it is. I think it's a
If
very bad idea.
If he's a friend of the Cardinal, he might just run and talk to him like, I don't know your name!
Yeah. I think it's a very bad idea too.
But then again, Thorn needs us.
I'd say just don't drop.
I don't think he needs us that badly.
I think he can replace us.
Really? You think so?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
go
Besides,
to
it's-
Brandiscap and
it's-
get some new people.
It's
Sure.
against our contract to do this.
Is it?
We're not
Do
to-
what exactly?
We're not to doubt him or go against him.
Oh, we're not going against him.
I still think it's not wise to try.
We're doubting him.
Oh, we are
I
doubting him.
I really need that contract back signed, because it's been so long. I can only remember some of what it said.
Malachi, one contract.
On the double, make it
You'll not
snappy.
see that again.
Yeah,
I've
read it
found
once.
video. There's a video for it.
It's been so
That's a
long since I
video.
read it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Zacharias will look around the library and says, yes. Well, and, before the Horn of Abaddon, of course, we were at the walls of Ballantine. He smiles. We were the knot that broke it.
I heard as much. You had some aid in that, however. Aid you quickly extinguished. Smile. Know that I am no threat to you.
Well, this
Smiling, almost teasing.
The 7 knot was, what you can say was, the English word for betrayed by the White Witch of their group.
Yes, unfortunate.
They were fools. No one betrays the Father or breaks an unholy, infernal contract without repercussion.
I seem to recall, Zacharias sort of muses here. Yeah, what was the name now? The commander of Ballantine. Oh, yes, Havelin it was. Peculiar name, that.
I mean, you sort of see his eye twitch slightly and says, yes, Thorn told me as much. sort of pushes an edge on Thorn.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sure Thorn told you a whole lot of things. We fashioned him with the head of the garrison commander. I remember him being quite pleased, wouldn't you say? Zacharias looks at the rest of the group.
Yes.
Very.
Oh, very much.
That
so.
reminds me, something very weird happened at the Horn. Horn.
Yes, yes.
We were fighting another Havelin.
Yes, there appears to be many Havelims around. Zacharias looks at Brother Thrain. We fought another Havelin. Who was it? Was it Sir Richard Havelin? I seem to recall.
The thing is, we almost had him, but then suddenly, poof, he
Vanished!
teleported out.
He teleported
of the
out.
Horn.
And you wouldn't think that a knight such as Sir Richard would not
Well,
know such spells. He must have powerful outside help.
And he has
Sir Richard is a rising paladin in the king's service.
indeed, but he also sworn an oath to never retreat in a battle.
Yes, it is quite peculiar. I wonder who would whisk him away as such. No doubt some of the king's servants, because surely there would be no other Havelin around to support him in such a cause.
Thorn just looks at you, sort of says, I suppose not.
We
Or
want
would you have evidence to, or thoughts otherwise?
Of
Well,
course not. I
Share
was-
with me, brothers.
I
Do not think me your enemy.
I wanted to share this information with Thorn because I find it very disturbing that someone has the power to get through the Horn, which you can't teleport out of. That someone out there with such power can just pick out a person random.
Whisk them away.
Yes, it is all quite mysterious, isn't it? It would require some significant degree of power. It
Well,
is
all the-
certainly true that when the good and noble Sir Richard Havelin was whisked away from us in battle, we failed to vanquish a powerful enemy to the father. I imagine that the father is not pleased at this escape at all. Zacharias nods to himself.
He looks and says, we cannot presume to know what the father thinks. His plans spans centuries. However, we have his eyes upon us.
Of course, you're right, Brother Thrain.
It seems that you are talking without telling me what you wish to say.
All we do is ponder.
Idle speculation, nothing more. But do not think us as fools, Brother Thrain. We too have been around for quite some time. Our knowledge is not small.
So Thorn has told you things then?
Yes, he has.
What exactly has he told you? It would surprise me if it is anything new. He seems generally interested in this notion.
I do not suppose that anything he would have told us would be news to you, since you are apparently such old friends.
I imagine not. However, it would be interesting to see how much faith he has put in his favorite knot, would it not? Sort of smiles.
Is he trying to trick us, I wonder? Because
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think he is.
Sense motive.
In
Yeah,
every
okay.
single way, yes.
You can sense motives, you know.
I'm just got better at sense motives thanks to my dragon.
Alright, there we go.
And your
could
wisdom
try
just went
to
up.
buff him too.
And my wisdom just went up.
Untrained sense motive, go!
I mean, sure, why not? Let's try this.
I didn't see what I got.
I'm so glad I have a bonus. I have bonus to sense motive checks due to my curse.
Ah, there we go.
16
Seems
is not
to
bad.
all of you that that this man usually is hard to read. Currently, though, he seems quite open. As he's not really. He's feeling. He's actually kind of feeling relaxed. You would guess. He's not working his usual mimicry and his facade, if you will, is not up. He seems to be talking genuinely, and he seems to be genuinely interested, intrigued, and he very much seems to be enjoying a conversation where he can be honest for once.
Do we get a feeling that if we would just basically name drop Thorn, that he would like run away and tell on us? Or I
At the
mean,
moment, he seems to try to gauge how much you know. He does not seem to in any way sort of be threatening, or he does not seem to tense up or anything like that.
because my thought is this, right? That yes, this is extremely dangerous territory we're walking right now because we're kinda,
Yes.
plotting Thorn's downfall in a way.
We're not plotting. We're just trying to find out who the hell we're working for.
Exactly, but the
And
thing is
that's
here
not
that this
really-
brother Thrain is loyal to Thorn, but he is more loyal to Asmodeus, right? That is the ultimate loyalty here.
Well, that's the ultimate loyalty for all of us.
Right.
And
So-
the fact is that we are actually kind of allowed to ask questions here because Adjuster Thorn saved a Mithra servant.
Yeah, that is what we believe.
So that makes us allowed to ask questions because in our contract says if our superior are to fall from the path, we are allowed to actually dispose of him. But I don't say we're going that far yet. But we are allowed to ask questions here because if what we think is true, he did something wrong, and that's against the contract we're in.
All right. Zacharias will look around and say, Brother Thrain, I do not wish to change the subject so abruptly, but there's the things we might want to discuss does not want to fall on outside ears, you understand. He looks around. Is this place protected in any way from scrying or some such?
Yes, in the way that it is done from the Mithran Church. Sisson and smiles a little. Happy things. I have quite the considerable church abilities at my disposal.
Would another person trained in the church for for as long as you have perhaps have the power to pierce this warding?
Shrugs. I would not have such an ability. I cannot speak for others. I do not think anyone would have an interest in listening in on our conversation. What we are talking about is much known to any powerful enough, and it is uninteresting to anyone who thinks we are simply talking about old books. I am, you must not forget, a senior priest of Mithras, the Fire Undying.
Of course, of course. So yeah, but if we can name drop Havelin here and sort of start implicating him, I'm hoping that we can win this guy over to our side.
Well, it is, as I said, we are all devoted to Asmodeus. It's not Adjuster Thorn, he's only the second. And the fact that he's done something that is questionable, it's okay to do this.
That's kind of my line of thinking, and if we can implicate Thorn in anything like this, maybe we can shake the faith of this guy and actually bring him closer to us.
Well, maybe he knows if Thorn is able to do stuff like this, if he has any sort of feeling towards this Havelin. But what we do is not something that Adjuster Thorn would get angry over. If he wanted his information to be more protected, maybe he shouldn't have let us near that half-elf. Is he expecting us to be stupid? I doubt it.
I would be insulted if he thought so.
Personally, I don't think we should start pushing our luck yet.
Yeah,
I
this
mean-
guy, I don't know what to think about him yet.
Well, Cash doesn't see him as an enemy, but she wants answers. Why Havelin was saved. Because that is not part of what we are supposed to do. That is questionable.
It is weird.
And that is against our contract. It's against his contract unless he has plans with Richard Havelin, which we are not supposed to meddle in. But he should have told us that if Richard blah 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 comes in, you should not kill him because we need him in a sacrifice or something like that. If we are his favorite nut, he should have done that.
I mean, we're currently in a position. I don't think he can just replace us. I mean, many of the other knots have fallen or been destroyed. I don't think he has that much manpower, honestly.
He has Theodora, which is a kind of
He has
creepy
Theodora.
person.
He has us. He has this guy. He has Fyrax.
Oh, see, Fireaxe is on our side. He really liked us.
Yeah, I like Fyrax.
And we all like Fireaxe. Except for
Um,
his tent sucked.
So we know 3 knots that are alive. Let's see, how many others have been destroyed? Like 3 or 4, something
We
like
know,
that
we
has
know.
been destroyed.
I think 3 we know have gone.
Yeah.
Because there was the one which went into the
The horn.
There's one that went into the horn that died. We killed the 7th, and I think there was one dead before that. So.
But what we're doing is not against the rules of our contract.
My point is, that means there are 6 knots in active duty.
And we know 3 of them.
Yes, so there are still 3 which are unknown.
Yeah. The thing is, yeah, I mean, it is risky. But I feel like I kind of want to start building our power base a bit. See if we can gather some opponents against Thorn.
I don't think we are going to get in any trouble of asking these questions. We are supposed to be clever.
The problem is, of course, I mean, if Thorn finds out, right? If Thorn finds out somehow,
Then
maybe
what?
this guy isn't as loyal to Asmodeus as we think he is, and he will talk to Thorn. Although right now he seems very open.
Marcus detects alignment. Is he good or evil?
Well, of
Well,
course
I can
he's
only tell if he's evil or if he's chaotic.
chaotic. Yeah.
Marcus try.
I mean, sure.
He gets no return.
So he's
I'm
He's
despicable,
he's
I'm,
concealing himself.
Yeah,
well,
of course he would be.
He
But I
had
mean,
to,
yeah, that
of
does
course.
make sense. So
I mean, if he talks to Thorn, Thorn realizes that we know that he's a Havelin.
Does it matter?
Does
That we
it
know.
matter?
I would say yes, but
Why would it matter? Well, the Baron did say it was dangerous information, but why?
because that reveals a connection to who he was in his last life.
Yeah. And he desperately wants to hide that. But from us,
I don't think it's... Why would he feel threatened if we knew?
we are in his organization. He would feel threatened that we knew if he also knows that we're pulling connections between him saving Richard Haviland. And what implications that might have.
Then he should have met with us and explained.
He should have, yes.
But he didn't.
He did not, because he thinks
Which-
us ignorant.
Which just makes it even more suspicious.
It does.
All we have to say to him if he asks is, we are devoted to Asmodeus.
Aren't you? Oof, that'll rile him up.
Well, he put us in this contract, and our contract is we are devoted to Asmodeus first and foremost.
It is true. It says
well,
that
he still does have the power, I think, to just negate the contract whenever he wants.
he can.
He can rip up the contract, but
The contract
Yeah.
said that if he were to stray from the path, we were allowed to actually set him straight.
It's true.
So it doesn't sound like it's a contract in his
But I
favor.
feel like pissing off Thorn by testing our boundaries isn't necessarily the best thing to do.
Then all we can say
But
is
we
priest.
don't. That's the thing. We don't know our boundaries if we can't test them, right?
That's true.
We need to. At this point, I mean, we have worked under him for so long. Right now, we need to. I feel we are almost obliged to, in a way, to start testing the boundaries here a bit.
You know, it isn't much harder that if Augustus Fawn shows up and goes, "What the hell is this about?" Because I was gonna be honest, Havelin was saved. You're Havelin. Why was he saved?
Yeah.
Do you know anything about it? It's only natural that we would set questions.
We can. I mean,
Yes.
if we all right, say that we actually sort of uh, tell some of our suspicions, maybe not all of them, but some of them to this guy, and we get a tremendous fallout from Thorn. Like Theodora shows up, and or like Thorn himself, heaven forbid, shows up and is super pissed. Then we know at least where the boundaries are, and we know to be very much more secret in the future, because this is not the last thing we're gonna find out about him, no doubt.
No, and even if he shows
Okay,
up and
yeah.
is super pissed, all we did was find out what his name was. Big whoop.
Yeah. We can, of course, at that point we can fake it and like throw ourselves into dust and like beg for forgiveness and say, or
We don't-
or
we
maybe
don't
we can
have-
stick to our horses and say like, yeah, we are your most competent group. Look what we have done. Do you
we
at
don't
this point really have confidence enough to try to destroy us and maybe jeopardize the whole mission because of this?
We don't have to. We haven't done anything wrong. Has he ever said that we were not allowed to? No.
No, he
He has
hasn't.
never set any boundaries except for the contract, and that contract does not say you're not allowed to find out who Edward's phone is.
We know, of course, that he is paranoid. I mean, the risk, of course, would be that he would go completely, just won't think and just send, like, destroy them. He doesn't even think, like, send someone to destroy them.
He doesn't seem like a person that would do that. He seems more intelligent to me than that.
Yeah, that's my hope too. And my hope is that he realizes that we are too important to him to just kill off right now.
I think we should do it. We are not doing anything wrong. What we're doing is asking questions, and that is what an intelligent person should do. And he wants us to be intelligent. And what is happening is not good. It's suspicious, and Fawn should have been there so we could talk to him about it. What happened to Haviland? But he wasn't, which makes it even more suspicious. So I think we have an all right to ask these questions.
I wonder why he
Right.
saved Richard Haviland and not Thomas Haviland.
Exactly. Why? We want to know.
What is Richard Haviland to him?
What is he to him?
Is it his son? That'd be delicious.
Yeah.
He seemed kind of old, though.
He is, yeah.
Maybe it's his dad or something.
Grandson, maybe? I don't know.
Well, let's
Wait,
find
something
out.
just caught me.
Yes.
So he said this plan has been in the works for centuries.
Did he say that?
Just as Modius plan.
That's true.
Basically, he said the devils do not care about our petty lives.
Of course not, and they have enough time to.
How old does Brother Thrain look like?
He looks quite old. Like,
80?
not quite, perhaps. He seems to be actually holding out quite nicely, sort of in. He's very frail and such, but sort of he moves with a grace that would suggest he has some sort of enhancement to his capacity of life, perhaps.
Would he
I know
have?
that spell.
Would you think? Yeah. Would you say he'd be in the vulnerable edge category, or?
Most likely.
Well, Cash looks at Zacharias and gives him a nod that she thinks we should talk to him about it.
Zacharias looks to the rest of the group.
Sure.
Sheep? Dark?
Zerus is just very unsure, but. And Sheep has no opinion, apparently, so.
I have no opinion.
Well,
Tyrant smash!
Cash will look at the brother and says, we know his name.
We know that Thorn was not always a Thorn, as it were. Zacharias smiles.
Oh,
He was once a Haviland, was he not?
To be more exact, Samuel.
he sort of raised his eyes a little. He told you so much, did he? I'm
Zacharias-
shocked. I thought he wished his past buried.
Zacharias
Did he
nods.
also tell you that he was condemned for witchcraft and blasphemy and burned at the stake?
We know that.
I was there.
Really?
I saw him consigned to the flames. His eyes glass over as he's remembering something. But then again, he was reborn by the will of the Father alone. Now
Well,
he's the High Priest of Talengard. Instead of
Oh.
looks to all of you, glad I am to serve such a mighty man. You couldn't call him that anymore.
Zacharias will
Indeed, heard rumors that he doesn't even have a soul anymore.
Who here does truly?
Kesh gives him a smile.
indeed who. Zacharias smiles as well. Yes, so you can see, you can perhaps see our wonderment and mystifying that one of the Havelins just disappear in front of us in battle. I don't know exactly how many of the family remains.
3.
What is this?
Or now 2.
What is this Richard? To address this phone.
Is to think. He has told you so much, I suppose, then. There is not much reason to keep much else secret. I am surprised, however, he did not tell you more than his name.
Zacharias shrugs. We have been locked away at the Horn of Abaddon for over a year, brother. We have been quite isolated, and many thoughts have been running through our minds. Please sate our curiosity. Indulge us, if you will.
Stipend says, then it is time for a bit of a tale. I will make it quick or brief, if you will. I am not me to spoil the fun of telling such a tale. However, it is sufficient to say that I was once merely a priest. I met a young man called Richard. Before that time, I was an even younger acolyte, and I met a man called Samuel, a great priest of great prospects. I spoke with him often, and I noticed, out the corner of my eye, that he was smitten by a lovely woman. She was fond of him too, I think. Never much did I talk to her, however he spoke to me often about her. I think. Then his brother wooed her. That was a sad and terrible day. That was when the toying of the tales of the father, the secret studies, turned into devoted hatred.
Zacharias nods. One can understand such justified hatred and such treachery.
I fell with him. However, when he was burned for his treachery, I managed to stay hidden even under the Inquisition's powerful gaze.
And the name of the woman must of course have been... sort of lets the question hang.
So, is that important?
He shrugs. Perhaps not. But as an academic, I am interested in the minutest detail. I can't help it, he smiles.
He nods. All right, then. It was Bronwyn.
Bronwyn.
Is she still alive?
She said no. She perished many years ago.
So Richard is his brother.
No, Richard is the young one. Probably Thomas was the brother in that case. Maybe? No? Or someone else? I don't know how many Havens are there.
Thomas, his brother, had a son.
Oh.
With her?
Yes. And that son was named Richard.
I see now.
He saved
He saved this. Zacharias will not say this, of course, but he will, think it over in his mind.
That is the short of the tale. And it is the beginning of the tale of the fall of Telengard. How one man's wrath wrecked a nation.
Not, Zacharias smiles, not only one man's wrath, Brother Thrain. We here, he motions the rest of the group, we have quite the amount of wrath ourselves, let me assure you.
But one man united you and brought you here, is that not true? I
It is
hear you
true.
forsaken a day from the Inquisition's axe.
Indeed.
Flame or eternal life salt?
Kesh looks at him. Not only did he bring us together, but he saved us.
Yes, we do owe much to Thorn, no doubt.
And he must trust you beyond all. Should have
We-
impressed.
We are his favored servants, of course. None other group, as far as we know, has delivered such results to him. He nods again gravely. Yes, indeed. Although we have been isolated for quite some time, as I have told you. Could you perhaps fashion us with some news of the war effort?
Oh, Kesh wants to ask him a question.
The Fyrax have been winning every battle he has fought. Ambril, Loringskate, Lorrington Fields. Recently, he has been nearing. Seems to think for a while. They wanted to hold him at the keep, it seems.
What is the question, Cash want to ask?
The castle of Westkirk seems to be where the local armies have gathered. They have taken every unit from Devrin and sent them there. They say the Fyrax will be walking into a trap. He will not know what hit them, and they will end this war before the king's army has even gathered.
I see. What are the news of the king's army? People of Gaston Hall seems upset that he has not moved, or seems...
He is gathering every knight of Valyrian. He will have an army that is so vast that even with whatever reinforcements the bears have from the north, they will assuredly be destroyed. It is only a matter of time. How much can they wreak havoc before the army is gathered and marches against them? Thorn, however, might have a plan. He has not told me of the other knots and what they do.
Yes, we have...
As sure as I am in anything, it is that he has a plan.
Well, we have one of the 7 knots under our... what could you say? We have a command, yeah. One of them did not know of the... the witch lied, the White Witch. He was the only one who was the true devotion to Asmodeus.
And as such he was saved so he can serve again.
I like the idea of reusing old materials, as long as they are still usable.
He's very usable. Cash smiles.
Zacharias nods. Indeed. One can only reforge a sword so many times before it becomes utterly brittle and broken. Rest assured, we keep an eye on him, of course.
But I want to know, the first time you saw me, you looked at me like you could see through.
Not many elves come to this land, and I'm not unfamiliar with the gifts of Thorn.
So you can see through it, me.
No, I do not. Then they would not work, would they? If a priest such as me could simply view through them. I was, however, expecting someone of your looks interesting looks was certainly someone that fitted the description. I was simply intrigued. I had been told there was to be a row among you, and I had not expected for one such as you to take the form of your service cousins. What else?
Cass changed to her drow form to. Might as well give him a treat.
I was not aware that you liked wearing their skin.
It's more because we heard that the Duke of this city would like some interesting company, and I thought this would be a good way to get some information out of him.
Nonsense. One would truly have to be powerful and foolish to wish to marry him. He has been acting rather strangely since he was coronated.
I thought so not to marry him just to get some information out of him if I can, and this is one possible way, because I know he is only interested in interesting women. So I thought of just changing the color of my skin.
I suppose I would not get your hopes up about the Duke. He's a man who knows more than he lets on. Only a fool would think the Lord of Gaston would be a fool.
Zacharias will actually think of something here, and he will fish the ring out of his pocket and show it to the old man. We found this in the Horn of Abaddon. I do believe this belongs to the long-lost princess of Gastonhall, but perhaps you can take a look at it and confirm it for us.
Takes it and sort of looks at it and sort of smiles, chuckling a bit. Oh, you found that, did you? That could very well be the very ring of the legendary lost Princess Iris. She vanished a century ago. With that ring, you could doubtlessly get an audience with the Duke. If you find the princess bones, by city law, you would have a favor. It is, of course, an old, ridiculous law created by the decree of Iris' grief-stricken father after her disappearance. And, of course, you'd need 100-year-old skeleton of a half-elven maiden to earn the reward. But you might be able to dig one up. Clever as you are.
Half-elves.
Zacharias amuses and says, yes, that might very well be possible. We do have certain talents, after all.
Are they a family of elves?
You didn't know. She was half-elven, however.
Interesting.
That's barely.
Well, I may be a drow, but I've not been with my people at all. I have been among humans. Through all my lifetime, I've only met one half-elf.
And didn't we like him, Lady
They
Cash?
are rare, as elves are here. There's a long way to the mainland where they live.